Best Irish music on irishradio.org with Jerry Byrne.
I'm Jerry Byrne, Irish Radio it is. It's the advent of lockdown. I was speaking to many of the great and the good of music, Irish music and entertainment. And I've got a lady who has had a huge amount of achievement, one of three sisters, the Hanna sisters, out on her own, her a fusion of sort of Irish folk, country, modern Celtic sounds, and along the sort of style possibly of Mary Black, Frances Black, that type of thing, but her own unique talent. And she's got a new album out. I'm delighted to say hello to Clanna, Clare Hanna. Clare, how are you? Lovely to speak to you.
Hello, Jerry. How are you doing? I'm doing the best. And how are you keeping?
Yes, not too bad at all. Strange times.
Oh, very strange times, but we're keeping going anyway, so we're just keeping going at the music, and I'm sure you're keeping going with all your music promotion as well, so...
Indeed, yes. We're doing the best that we can in the situation that it is. You come from a very musical family.
Yes, well, I come from... I always have been singing from I was no age with my sisters, the Hanna sisters, and there's four of us all together. And my father's family were kind of, they would have been very much, we came from the Shannon style of singing. So my father would have brought me around, even though he didn't sing himself, I would have been brought up with a lot of around all the traditional singers around Tyrone, and the Hannas had a great name. Geordie Hanna would have been a cousin of my father's, and I would have been around a lot of the sessions as a child listening to him singing. And then my mother's family was also very musical, and they would have been more type of classically trained, and also a bit of traditional music, but my father loves the country as well, so we were kind of brought up with a whole mixture of styles, really. So yeah, and then I ended up travelling with my sisters across Europe and the UK, really, in a family folk band. And I think I would have probably come across you in a few stages. We would have supported the likes of Dominic Kerwin, and around about, I suppose, many years ago, 20 years ago now, and would have been a lot of the festivals with like the likes of the Furies and Finland and Begley and that. So it was just a real mixture of styles really all together. So
right, certainly your apprenticeship served at this stage, Clare.
Yes, definitely. And then I decided just to do my own thing really, and I headed off to London, and I still did a lot of gigs over there, and I did a lot of songwriting as well. So I would have worked in a lot of schools, as I'm a music teacher as well, so I worked in a lot of schools in London, and I just spent a lot of time doing songwriting, and I wrote a song that the British government released online. It was their first song. It was just about families affected by knife crime, and also I wrote a song for the Irish Olympic team. So back in, I think it was 2013 or so, 2012. So I'm still keeping up with a lot of the writing, and this is my second album now. But my first album went down very well with the songwriting, and especially in social media, and especially the American market tend to love my styles, which is very good. So it's more a modern Celtic style. So I've a lot of my own songs, and then a lot of covers as well. So this album, I just released a couple of months ago. It's called Surprisingly Grounded, and once again, it's just a real mixture of folk and country and kind of bluegrassy style, but a very modern. Everybody seems to think it's very modern and diverse. It's really a mixture of covers and original songs.
Well done on all of that. I mean, you've as you say, you released that song all about the knife crime. You've won awards as well, and you've continued sort of working indeed, I believe, with a broad spectrum of musicians and indeed writers.
Yes. And I've covered, even in some of the songs that I've covered, I just love the old traditional country style songs. So, for example, I've covered a couple of Ags Conley. He's like an English singer-songwriter. He's very country, very old style, traditional country style. And I came across him in London. And I've covered a couple of his songs, Get Out of My Mind, and That's the Last Time. They're both on the album. And a lot of the really traditional country people really love those two songs. And I also work with I've worked with a lot of different songwriters and that, but I've covered also, like, say, the Alan Jackson hit The Older I Get. So there's on the album there's a whole mixture of country songs plus like folk classics such as Mary Black's Once in a Fairy Blue Moon. And then I also covered like Christy Hennessy's Remember Me, and I released that one online if anybody wants to look at the video, because I released it around the time of when the pandemic started, and it was just, you know, dedicated to all the victims who have suffered really from the coronavirus. So that's an absolute number for now, but also the likes of Morris Dixon, who's a Northern Irish songwriter, and one of his songs is Wine and Roses, and it's also on the album. It's like I put my own contemporary kind of stamp onto each one. So
right, excellent stuff. You've I can see all right, like online, where it has gone down an absolute storm when you released that video. The reaction has been incredible.
Yes, is that the Remember Me?
Yes.
Yes. Christy Hennessy's just an amazing songwriter, and it's a very sad song, but yeah, it went down. It is like it's still getting a lot of publicity, really. Remember Me, and on the social media and Facebook, and people are sharing it just because they relate to it, really.
Indeed. Now, since that, you've moved back to your native county, Armagh.
Yes, that's right. I moved back a couple of years ago. I lived in London for, I think, about 11 or 12 years, and then I just decided that I was missing home too much, and I thought, if I don't go now, I'll never go back. So we decided to come back to, it's the town of Lurgan, really, in County Armagh. You know, I'm from a beautiful wee country place called Mahray, on the Loch Shore, not in Loch Ness, and but we decided that we would just move to one of the towns, so we're living in Lurgan at the minute, and it's very close for everything, and there's an awful lot of music around here. There's the Cultus, and there's always music in all the pubs that you go to, so I wanted that as well. But obviously this year now there's no live gigs at all really going on, which is a big shame, but I'm sure hopefully it'll get back soon, hopefully when this is all over. But I think it's just a very strange year all round, isn't it?
Indeed. This is one we certainly never predicted.
No, never would have ever predicted this. It's really, you'd never have predicted that you're not allowed to sing, really.
Yes.
On these events, I think they're allowed maybe one singer at a funeral, but at times at weddings there was no singers. So it's very, very strange times, really.
And it is indeed. But I think one thing, Claire, that has come into its own, especially like during this lockdown, this very difficult time, is technology, and the fact that people could communicate and remain in touch. And for example, you were able to put up your video and share it out, and it got that great reaction. Plus, there are a number of other singers who do their Facebook lives and various streaming, and it goes down an absolute storm. So that's one of the big advantages.
Yes, well, I am just so grateful for social media, just in general, even just before this, because it's helped me so much. Because I have 3 kids and I'm a busy woman, so I don't always have time to go out there and be promoting things, and I'm quite picky about the gigs and things because I don't have time to be out to 3 or 4 o'clock at the weekends, really. So Facebook has just been major for me, and I can't really be. I'm so grateful for it because I can sell my album by just sitting here in County Armagh, and I have people all over the world contact me in America and Europe, all over the world, where they're not only contact me, they're buying the album. It's just absolutely amazing that where people are hearing me. I'm getting lots of contacts in South Africa. People are just mad about the Celtic music in certain parts of America, or I'll have somebody text me and say, I'm listening to you tonight in New York. So it's just absolutely amazing that I don't have to actually leave my house, and I don't have to look too good either, and I can still be selling my music. So it's absolutely amazing. Who would have thought this in 20 or 30 years ago that this was possible?
Indeed, it is absolutely amazing. The sheer transformation in in media and communications and social media and all of those things. And while many people complain about it, yes, there of course there will always be people who will abuse everything. But in the main, I think it's been all for the good and all for the better. And I think it, as well as you were saying about your music being noted in South Africa, in the US, across Europe. One thing about it is that it's a great shop window for you, where you can have your music quite literally being shown across the world.
I know, it's absolutely. I am just gobsmacked sometimes how I don't have to leave my house, and yet people they're contacting me just saying, on a Saturday night, I'm listening to you from the Spain. They're just all over the world, really. America, they love the Celtic sound. So it's just absolutely amazing that I can sell the albums, plus I can keep some form of anonymity as well, which I know, as you said, some people are saying people do abuse it, but I don't have to be, I don't have to go and play in South Africa, but yet they're hearing it and they're buying my albums. So it's just amazing. It's really incredible.
It is. It's absolutely astounding, and it really, as I say, it really does give it's a great display to the world of what you can actually, what you're doing and all the rest of it, which was never around before. No, never.
And plus, as I said to you, it probably gets more promotion that way than actually doing a live gig, so without actually having to travel. And especially in these times of the pandemic, people can hear my music, and it can go, it's even been on YouTube, for example. It just does take you to, anybody can go back and just play the videos. So it's just great that I don't have to, you don't have to actually be travelling on a plane and during these times to go somewhere.
Indeed.
So it's amazing.
Indeed. It's sort of it's kind of ironic. It brings you back to when you think back in the day when singers, musicians had to travel in order to, say, promote their album in a particular place. They literally had to go there and sort of do appearances in, let's say, record shops and things like that.
Yes, I know, and it's just changed everything. Social media, really, it has. So. But it's still, at the same time, it's lovely to hear a live gig, really. But during times like this, and when I can't get to places like South Africa and America, it's just amazing that you can be sought out as well. That people are contacting me and looking the album, So it's just absolutely amazing that you couldn't have done that before at all.
Indeed,
really.
Indeed. So, different world, and as you say, you're a busy lass with 3 children. You would be, and well done on everything that you're doing. And
okay, and I forgot to mention there was one of my songs I wrote myself. I'm not sure if I've sent it to you, but it's called "You Stood by My Side," and it was inspired after hearing. I just heard one day about a coronavirus survivor. And they described how their fight against the disease and the depression that came afterwards. And then they just kind of talked about the admiration that they had for those loved ones who stood by their side, and even the NHS staff who saved their lives. So I wrote a song about it, and it's called "You Stood by My Side." So I'm not sure if I've sent you that one, but if not, I'll send it to you.
Yes, I have it.
Just to have a listen to it.
Well done on that. Very appropriate title, I would have to say, for the times. Yes. That's in it. Clare, listen, it's been lovely to catch up with you, lovely to chat to you, and listen, I wish yourself and your family all the very best, and loads of success with the album.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you to everybody who is buying it and listening and tuning in. Thank you very much to them all, but thanks as well to you for having me on, and I hope you stay safe and well.